All right, what is going on? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I seriously appreciate you tuning in today. We are back here with my 2006 Nissan 350z, and as you saw from the title of this video, we're going to be checking the oil today and topping it off. So let's get right into it. I'm going to show you guys where I keep my oil and why I keep it here. So I keep my oil on the passenger side behind the passenger seat because I honestly don't trust the oil canister that it comes in, or like the oil bottle. Like, they don't seal very well, so I keep it kind of squished back there. I know it's not going to fall over. And then also I keep my rag and wrench rolled up in here. All right, so 5W30 from Valvoline, full synthetic. Can't go wrong, can't go wrong. So this is not a full bottle, or I would also get my funnel out. My funnel is behind the driver's seat right now, but because it's not a full bottle, I don't need to, like, I'm probably not gonna spill any, or at least I hope I'm not going to. So basically, first what you wanna do is you're gonna want the car to be cold. So I have not started this thing yet today at all. We're walking out here for the first time. And so all of the oil should be down at the bottom of the sump. The VQ35, whether the DE, the Rev Up, or the HR, holds 5 quarts of oil, and the dipstick at the low point reads 4 quarts, and at the high point is 5 quarts. So we're gonna check it right now. It's right here. I'm gonna pull the dipstick out. I like to lean it back so it doesn't drip. It looks like we're like 65% of the way up. We're gonna check it one more time. It's always a good rule of thumb to put it back in and pull it out once more, just so you know you're getting an accurate reading. Just like that. And it's like 70%. It's not too bad. I'll give you a good idea of how this looks. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's an H right here and an L right there. And then all of this is like scratched, so the oil sticks. So we checked the oil in the morning because the oil is colder, so it's more viscous, it's thicker. So it sticks to the dipstick a lot better. A lot of people, what they'll do is take like some sandpaper and they'll scratch this up a little bit so the oil sticks a little bit better to the dipstick, but I've actually had no issues with it. But it is super important that you make sure you see where the low is and where the high is, so you know if you're low on oil or if you've overfilled it. So right now, like it said, we're at 70%. I'm gonna check one more time. You can never check too many times, you know? So low would be there, high would be there. So that's probably like 30% down, or maybe like 35% down. So this low, like I said earlier, low is 4 quarts, H is 5 quarts. So optimally, the engine should have 5 quarts in it at all times. Try not to go over the 5 quarts, but definitely make sure you're not under 4 quarts. As long as it's in between the L and the H, you should be able to read where it's at. If it's under the L, you really don't know where it's at. So like if you're going to buy a 350Z and you don't even see oil on that anywhere, that's why I always recommend to check them when they're cold, just so you can really see the oil level. So basically the oil should be on there somewhere, and then you can read it from where it's at. You should be able to top it up to the rest of the 5 quart mark. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up. Here, look, I don't know if you can tell, but this is all kinds of scratched up from the previous owner. Honestly, the 350Z creates a lot of like suction and pressure inside the motors. So what happens is this gets kind of stuck over time. So people tend to take these things and just turn it like this, and it will absolutely destroy the plastic here. And the way this is shaped, it's not the easiest to grab. So what I do is I'll put the rag over it and then twist it, just so it doesn't like destroy the cap. And then another good rule of thumb is to place the oil cap right here. So the hood cannot latch without the oil cap being placed. So you can't leave without putting that back on, because you would not get very far, honestly, with no oil pressure. I mean, maybe like 1 minute down the road or something. 5W30, full synthetic. We're gonna add it to this. We were down like 30%. This is 1 quart of oil, and the low to the high level on the dipstick is 1 quart of oil. So we were down 30%. We need to add 30% of this bottle, and right now I would say it's actually down 30% to begin with. So we probably need to add, there's probably not going to be very much left in here. Man, clean oil is so satisfying. All right, there it is. This has, yep, like 25% left in it. We should be good to go, honestly. Wipe the top of this just in case. Put this back. Okay, so now one thing you can do to be safe is, right now if we check the oil, what we can do here, let's do it. So if you were to check the oil right now, for some reason when you add oil to the VQ, it just absolutely coats the dipstick in oil, and you just can't read it whatsoever. Like, look, ready? Like, there's not even an oil reading on that anymore. Like, the whole thing is covered in oil. So we're gonna wipe it. I'm gonna stick it back in there again. Yeah, nothing. I mean, you could see the new oil in there. It's like a lot lighter, but you still just can't see anything. So what you're supposed to do, a good rule of thumb, is to wait 10 to 15 minutes and all the oil will kind of sink back down into the sump. What you can do is go drive, get the engine up to temperature, and then pull over, kind of give it like 10-15 minutes, like go into the store, come out and check the oil, and you should be able to get a really accurate reading that way. But if you don't have that 10 or 15 minutes to basically wait for the engine to cool down, the best time to check the oil is in the morning, right when you walk outside, or while the car is cold, just so the oil is as thick as possible. It grabs onto that dipstick so you can see it, basically so you can get an accurate reading, because these cars are good for 300,000 miles easy if you just keep up with the oil. Even the rev up motor, which I have right here, it's known for burning oil, but as long as you keep topping it up pretty often, you should be good to go. We actually added this oil catch can here like 3 weeks ago. I'm honestly really excited to check it out. As you can tell, the little window right here doesn't have any there, but one thing I noticed is because there's a drain tube that goes all the way down to the bottom of the car, that drain tube has to completely fill with oil before it even starts to fill the like the canister itself. So I mean, it's probably like 1.5 feet or like a foot long drain tube, so who knows how long that'll take to fill. But I guess I think next week I'm gonna actually be releasing the video, because it'll be a month long. I wanted to do a month-long review on it, and we'll see if it's captured any oil. I mean, it looks like there's kind of like an orange haze to it, so it's definitely doing something, and I'm excited to see how much just nasty oil we've caught. So definitely hit the subscribe button so you do not miss that video. I just wanted to film this one really quick. I know it's a pretty common thing, but for some odd reason, I feel like it's just not talked about enough. It's one of those things where people kind of just expect you to already know what to do. So where's that oil? There it is. So it's always nice to take it back to the roots and just kind of freshen up on the basics, you know? So I put the oil back here just so it doesn't slosh around. I really don't trust whatever's going on with this lid. I just never do. So there, seat back, and then just all the way back. The oil does not go anywhere. It's solid back there. So I actually made a video on this piece right over here. This is a 350Z PCV valve down here, and it's just as important as checking the oil. A clogged PCV valve can cause premature oil leaks. So I'm going to leave a link to the video right here. If you guys want to go check it out, I highly recommend doing so. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.